Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Speaking Nerd podcast, the place to talk about all things comics, movies, TV, video games, and everything nerdy. Um, so here's the thing. I know I said we were talking about the Batman movie next, but one of us isn't available for that. And we were going to talk
Fuck
about Batman.
AJ. Yeah, that man is gay.
We were going to talk about Batman Telltale, but one of us hasn't played either of the games. So instead,
Fuck Walter Brad.
yeah, fuck you, Walter. So instead, we're going to talk about another series of Batman games, which is the Lego Batman games. And I'm only just sticking with the three of them, so we're not really going to talk about DC villains or any of that shit. So, everybody good with that?
Shit, that shit was fucking
Yeah, 'cause
game of the year.
That shit doesn't count for me. Only the three games do. So I'm with you.
It's a great game, though.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I've heard good things. I haven't played it myself, so yeah. But we're just sticking with Batman in name only. And if you don't like it, then fuck off, I guess. But
I don't know a single soul who does not like the Lego Batman games. Probably Hitler, but that's about it.
Yeah, I've never met anybody who's disliked the Lego games, like just at all. But
Me neither.
so in the mystical year of 2008, when Lego was like on top of the world with their games, they had Star Wars, Indiana Jones, some others, which I'm probably forgetting.
Lego Island, the best one.
Lego Ninjago.
Yeah. Lego Racers.
Ninjago wasn't a thing till like
Indiana Jones. Did you already say that?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, my bad.
But anyway, they decided to do Batman, and
was the best decision they've ever made in the history of the company.
I would agree. Like, the first Lego Batman game holds such a special place in my heart. I love it to near death.
Fun fact, the first Lego Batman game is the first video game I ever played.
Really?
Huh. Really? That is interesting.
Huh.
But the first game, like, it's all three of these games, it's their traditional Lego style, but I think like the first one had a really nice blend of taking elements. It wasn't just based off of the movies or the comics or anything like that. Like it was a whole mix of different genres and formats. Like it had.
I mean, it was very Tim Burton inspired.
Yeah. A lot of its influence was Tim Burton.
I mean, they literally had the theme and everything.
Yeah, the entire soundtrack is just the '89 score, which I don't mind because Batman '89 has one of my favorite film scores ever, so I don't care.
I mean, it's so iconic.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, there was influence from the comics, from the animated series, like just about everything in terms of Batman. And it all like came together very nicely in the, both the story and the game.
It has the worst version of Robin ever.
Yeah.
He's a fucking idiot.
Yeah. I think the later games do him better, but yeah, the first game he's just an idiot.
Because he's not Dick Grayson anymore. The first one was Dick Grayson.
Second game did him pretty dirty.
Yeah.
Yeah, he actually did something in the third game. Give him props for that. He was genuinely extremely useless in the first two games. Batman would have been better alone.
Yeah. The first game, besides having the two main heroes, Batman and Robin, they had a whole slew of, Bat villains to choose from. You got your obvious ones, Joker, Penguin, Riddler, Two-Face, Catwoman, but you also had
Lego Catwoman is my wife.
But there are also some picks like Mad Hatter, Killer Moth, Killer Croc. There's
It was my first introduction to Hush.
John Cena.
John Cena, yeah.
But you can't see him.
Bro, if that
see him.
character creator that they had was so innovative.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, I love
I made Daredevil.
I made silly as it sounds, I made like Adam West Batman. Like just
Oh, that's cool.
like yeah. Or if it's not Adam West, then it was probably like Hush Batman with the blue and the giant black bat symbol. Like the character creator was so much fun, and like I think the game just overall
that like whole Arkham Asylum thing was really cool. Like just being able to play the story like in the perspective of the villains after you beat the main story as the heroes.
Yeah, that was it was pretty interesting. It gave the game a lot more like replayability. And,
I mean, it basically doubled the content.
Yeah. Another one of my favorite things about the Lego Batman games is the different suits you can equip for each situation. Like
yeah, you can make Batman a Saudi Arabian terrorist.
Yeah, you had the mine
that
suit.
Bomb suit is OP.
Yeah, it is pretty OP. Yeah, it just demolishes everything, and
you can turn Dick Grayson into Jason Todd if you know what I mean. But
that's true. I really like the glider suit with the giant bat wings. That was probably my favorite as a kid. The Sonic suit wasn't too bad either. The ones that like you can break glass with. I mean, it doesn't make sense why he would need a gadget for that since he can just bust through windows whenever he wants. But whatever.
The glide suit was probably the most useful, but it was also probably the worst designed because it's basically just the default suit.
Yeah. No, I would give that to the heat resistant one. It's just Batman but red. Like literally it's basically
Daredevil.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean
it was pretty badass.
Like, I think Robin got the short end of the stick too. Like the magnet suit I think is pretty bad. And they use it so much throughout the game too. Like
that vacuum suit makes him look like a really weird 50s Detective Comics villain.
Yeah. And then it just gets worse as the games go on because he's basically just wearing like a hazmat suit with an R on it.
Yeah, I feel like Batman like gave himself all the cool suits and then gave Robin all the terrible ones because he knew that he's useless.
Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't doubt
just
that.
Like, yeah, you're probably gonna die anyway. So.
Yeah, that first game though, like it's your typical Lego fare, and I think
it's the best game ever made. 10 out of 10. Should have won Game of the Year. If GTA 4 didn't come out, it would have been Game of the Year.
Out of the older Lego titles, this and Lego Star Wars is probably like my top two. Because
it's just the best one they ever made. Period.
Yeah. Yeah, because I didn't really.
Nothing's beating it.
Yeah, I didn't play Indiana Jones that much, and I didn't really care about the Harry Potter or Pirates, Lego games. So, yeah.
Until they made the sequel.
Yeah. Perfect segue.
Superman.
Yeah, Lego Batman 2.
You should have fired Robin and just got Superman, bro.
Yeah, I mean he's more useful. So
literally the the levels where you would play as just Batman and Superman, they had better chemistry than I think Batman and Robin have had in that entire trilogy.
Yeah. Forgot to ask Swfte, what do you think about the first Lego Batman game?
I really enjoy the first one, but I will say that I'll have more to talk about when we get to the second one because
We are
I
at the second one, so we better
Well,
start talking.
Well, I mean, yeah. So, but the first game's really great. It's a classic Lego game, and I can't say I played it as much as the second one, but I still enjoyed it for sure.
Yeah, as much as I love the first game, I think Lego Batman 2 is just a overall better game, like just in everything.
I think I'm just nostalgia blind, but I personally think the first Lego Batman game is flawless. There are zero flaws.
Okay. You can fuck off. Okay. No, I'm just kidding. No, I don't really see that. I don't really see any flaws in the first game either. Personally. I would just say I prefer the second game. Free roam is great. The areas of the map are great. The characters are great. Customization is great. Side missions are good. Story mode's really good. Like that game is like so good. It's literally if you took a comic book and slapped it on Legos. Literally what that game is. So
Yeah.
Okay, no problem, Alton.
I think like Lego Batman 2, like I love the story, I love the open world, the characters are a lot of fun. I think though, like, because this is the first Lego game where they started talking, like they had actual voice acting and all that.
Uh-huh.
I think part of me prefers like the silent mime type of humor from the older Lego games. I feel like something was just lost when they started giving them dialogue. I mean, that might just be me, but
I think the humor was definitely better, but I think for me, I prefer the talking, just because I think that's how I engage with the story. But the comedy was definitely better because they had to kind of think about what they were gonna do more than if you were talking. It's kind of easy to get away with things with words, but
yeah.
you know.
I mean, there are a lot of fun jokes in Lego Batman 2. One of my favorites is it's a level where Batman and Superman are in LexCorp and they're in the elevator together. My God, I just love that scene.
I'm back. Let's talk about the greatest gaming franchise of all time.
So I wanted to ask you, because we were just kind of talking about it, but how do you feel about Lego Batman 2 being the first game where Legos, like, they started talking as opposed to just having a mime act? Do you prefer them speaking, or would you rather have Legos not speak? I'm curious.
I mean, when it comes to telling a story, I'd prefer them to actually have dialogue. So there's a
Yeah.
But I mean, I didn't really mind the old Lego games. It's just, it's kind of just as hardware and video games developed. Of course, I think the formula for Lego games and how they tell their stories need to evolve with the technology. And this was just because as video games got more and more, story-oriented, of course, the Lego games obviously would follow through.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I'm not saying it not speaking takes away from the Lego games. It's just it makes sense why they would, why they did add voice acting. And I think, nowadays, I can't really imagine how some modern Lego games would work without voice acting, especially Lego Batman 2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think for me though, because I told Swifty this, like I prefer them. I like the silent kind of part of it because we were just talking about like some jokes for me really work in the second game, but when they weren't speaking, like they could do some really creative things with their comedy. I mean, there was the whole fair about, because they're Legos, they can just fall apart and, put their heads onto other bodies and shit like that. But like,
Yeah, I think it's kind of crazy how much Batman has decapitated somebody in this series of games. They say Ben Affleck's Batman was the Punisher. This Batman was straight up Satan.
Yeah, he's like,
There's this one move he can do in the second game where he literally just shoves them underground. Which obviously means, like, you ever see like those posts on Twitter which are like, oh, it shows like 4 pictures of Batman and it's like, which Batman out of these would win in a fight? I think Lego Batman squashes all of them.
Yeah, I mean, when you can just rip someone's head off, it's no like trouble at all.
He can kill a man. He can kill a man and just rip off all of his body parts in one punch to the stomach. I think he wins.
Yeah. Yeah, and you thought like Keaton and Affleck were the psychopathic murder Batman, but no.
They're nothing compared to him.
This Batman is the Zodiac killer.
Oh my god, that's who it was? That'd be the perfect plot twist too.
It's Batman.
The Zoda Bat killer.
So another thing that Batman.
Let's talk about the suits, man.
Yeah. Well, the suits are like. I like that
they really up their game. I like the Acrobat Robin suit a lot.
Yeah, I love the gliding bat suit.
And
that was a cool one for me.
Oh yeah, the gliding bat suit is like the best suit they've ever had.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the invisibility suit a lot too.
That's a cool one too. I like the X-ray one, the X-ray vision suit as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know something that I do looking back? I wish they gave suits to like other members of the Justice League. Like imagine like alternate suits for Superman that would give him extra abilities.
That would have been so cool.
Yeah, that would be pretty neat. But speaking of the other members of the Justice League, they're so much fun to play as, like especially Superman. It's so shocking to me that the best Superman's ever been in a video game was the Lego game. Like not even his own.
It's not even his Lego game either.
No, it's Batman's.
I really liked how the Flash plays in free roam. Like I think like when I play the free roam, that's like how I go to just play free roam is with the Flash.
Yeah. Yeah, either I'm running around as the Flash or like I'm just flying as Superman, getting from point A to point B. Rarely like driving around.
One of my favorite things to always do in the free roam was to climb all the way to the top of Wayne Enterprises, which was just the most massive building ever.
Yes.
And get in the Batman glide suit and just glide as far as possible.
Yeah, you could literally get to the other end of the map just by like just holding the button down.
Yeah, you could make it like all the way to like Wayne Manor.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, Alfred's pretty OP too. That man just fights with a plate.
Yeah. Yeah, they did so much.
Give the man a plate and he's indestructible.
Yeah, no, he's literally throwing around like a fucking batarang, just demolishing everything. Yeah, they did a really
Give him a plate and he turns into a literal god.
Yeah, they did so much. They did so right with the open world. Like it's probably one of my favorite open worlds in video games. Just how much you can actually do in it and how much fun it actually is. Like besides like trying to unlock other characters, there's like the puzzle buildings. Like you go around solving puzzles to get the gold bricks and stuff. Like that's a whole lot of fun.
I have a question for you, Marvel.
Yeah.
All right. So, since you said this is like one of your top open worlds for a video game, what is your favorite open world in a video game? Let's see how many video games you really play. I'll judge with this and see if it's a right answer. Because there is a right answer.
I would say Spider-Man PS4 / Miles Morales is one of them. Arkham City is another one. And God of War 2018 is another one of my favorites too.
Wrong. Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts is obviously number 1.
That game's fucking trash. What are you talking about?
It's the best video game ever.
Said nobody.
Said me. I'm gonna be the first one. All right, Arkham City does not stand a chance against Nuts and Bolts.
Yeah, you're the only one. But
honestly, I know no one asked me this question, but one of my favorite open worlds has got to be like Arkham City or GTA 4. Those two games just define me as a person.
Yeah, I love Arkham City. All right, since we're on this topic, Swfte, what's your favorite open world in video games?
That's a difficult question. Man, there's so many damn good ones.
Spider-Man 3 for the PS2.
Oh, for sure. Oh, for PS2, even better. No, I gotta say probably the Amazing Spider-Man 2. That was a joke.
Unironically,
man.
I put so many hours into that game.
So did I.
Yeah, me too.
Well, yeah, it's the only Spider-Man game on Xbox.
Yeah. Damn, that's a really good question. I mean, I would say
answer.
Fuck off. I would say an open world game that I really enjoy. I don't know if it's my favorite, but it's one that I put a lot of hours into. Was Arkham Knight. I probably put more hours into that than any other superhero game. Anyway. I mean, Assassin's Creed 3 is great. 4 is really great. Adding the sailing made it even funner. But I think my favorite open world, I don't know if it's the best, but probably my favorite is Assassin's Creed 2, I have to say, in all honesty.
Yeah.
I love that game and its open world. So, yeah.
It's the best Assassin's Creed by far.
Thank you. Yes, completely agree.
Like, there's no competition. Like, all the other
Not at
games
all.
are just terrible in comparison.
It's a shame Virtuous ruined it. Just like they ruined Return to Arkham.
Yeah.
Disgraceful bastard.
God damn it, Virtuous.
All right, so.
I swear to God, if they're the ones who are porting Arkham Knight to the Switch, I'm going to kill myself.
They better not be.
But anyway, back to Lego Batman 2. Do you guys have any
That took a turn.
Do you guys have any issues with the game just offhand?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's one of the most repetitive games I've ever played.
Well, I mean, you can say that about any of the Lego games. I mean,
Yeah,
it's Lego.
well, I mean, but here's, I don't know, like playing Lego Batman, like the first Lego Batman in comparison, you don't really realize the repetition. Well, in this game, it's especially when you're trying to 100% complete the game in the free roam, a lot of the side quests and stuff that you have to do in the free roam they're like Ubisoft level repetitive.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah,
what about you, Marvel?
At least there's no fast traveling. There is. There's a freaking subway. What am I talking about?
I was gonna say the map. I really don't like how they handled the map in Lego Batman.
Oh yeah, the map is terrible too.
Yeah, because you're trying to set markers for different points, and it either never lines up right, or just trying to put a way marker in is just a pain in the ass. So, but yeah, besides the repetition, because I do feel the same way about that too. I'd say the map is just a big standout problem with the game. Um,
Not enough Joel Schumacher. 2 out of 10.
I guess, do we have any last points to talk about with Lego Batman 2? Anything
Not
you guys
for me.
want to
Do we really? I mean, I could go like just I could make like a whole like 5-hour video essay on the stories to these games.
Yeah.
I can dissect the first Lego Batman game just to make it sound like a Martin Scorsese film.
Yeah. So I guess we can just move on to Lego Batman 3 then.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have a clever transition like I did with the with the second game.
Yeah, Lego Batman 3.
Just insert transition. I do editing like one of those like 90s like VHS transitions
Oh yeah. Yeah.
with like the record scratch. I need you to do that.
Yeah.
Lego Batman 3 for me was easily the worst one.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, where do you go after creating just the masterpiece that is the second one?
Right.
You
Like,
go
you evolved from the first one so much, like there's nowhere to go but down.
Yeah, and like I have an issue with the whole space thing in the third game, just because I didn't mind the space thing, but it was just the free roam was terrible.
There is no free roam, basically. I mean, this game pretty much was not a Batman game.
Right, exactly.
Like at least the first two games, you could at least say that they were Batman games. I feel like if they were going to do a trilogy of Batman games, what they should have done was they had the first one. That was perfect. You know what? Don't even do anything with that game. That game is a flawless masterpiece. Then you make the second one. I think the second one, like the voice acting, the open world and everything, I think they should have had all that. But I think they should have just kept it a Batman-focused story. I don't think they should have had any of the Justice League members in. I think they should have basically just specifically made it Batman related. And then do Lego Batman 2 as the third game.
Ah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
That would have been a good idea.
Because once you introduce this whole universe of characters, there's like no going back. So obviously, like I don't blame them for just doing just basically a Justice League story for the third game. But then it kind of loses its charm in a way because you play the second one and it's still very much a Batman game, and then you get to the end and it's this big Justice League crossover, and oh my god, it's fucking awesome. And then you play the third game and it's like it's just constant, I'm trying to think of how to explain it, but you guys know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Cool.
What do you think, Mo?
Because I was not going to try to explain myself.
I mean, it's besides the first game, it's probably like that game and Lego Batman 3 is probably the ones that I put the most time into because I jumped on the Lego Batman 2 like really late. Like I want to say in the last couple years I played Lego Batman 2.
Yeah.
The Lego Batman 3, I think, while still being a fine game in its own right, really is just a giant downgrade compared to what came before it. Like I think just about everything took a hit. Like the story, the open worlds, quote unquote, even the gameplay too. Like with the suits and stuff. And
really, the only thing that they did upgrade was like the character roster and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's fucking ginormous. Even including DLC, which is actually one of my favorite parts of Lego Batman 3 is its DLC.
They had good DLC. I'll give it that.
Well, yeah, you can play as Christopher Nolan's Batman.
Yeah.
This is the unofficial Dark Knight game.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they had a Batman 66 level too, and
the Batman 66 level was like Game Awards worthy.
Yeah.
That level itself should have been Game of the Year.
Probably, yeah, just the level, not even like, not even the game. But yeah, there's not really much to say. Like, it's just a glorified Justice League game. That's not great.
It's like, in a way, it's like they had so many ideas for like a Justice League game that they kind of just threw everything at the wall. Like
Yeah.
I think, because here I go back with my perfect Lego DC franchise. We would have the Batman trilogy, and then you'd go from Lego Batman 3, which is basically Lego Batman 2, to a Lego Justice League game, which is like a third of what this game is. Take like parts of this game's story and just make it 3 separate games. There's enough content to do that, and it would be less of a mess.
Yeah. I feel like when they started development, it was going to be a Justice League game. And then about halfway through, the guys over at DC were like, well, this isn't going to sell well. So just put Batman on the cover and like name the game after him. Because obviously it's going to push sales for that.
Yeah, obviously Batman is going to sell more than the entire goddamn Justice League, but that's fine.
And he's barely in the game. Like, he's barely
the most Batman thing ever is just the first level. That's the most Batman you'll get.
That's true.
And the DLC, which is basically just replicas of movie scenes.
Yeah. But yeah. At the end of the day, I will
playing
say
as the Dark Knight Bane is fucking awesome. Also, bro, okay, sidetrack. When they did the Dark Knight Returns Batman and they made him the size of the Hulk.
Yeah, that's right.
That was awesome.
Yeah. I wanted to ask, just since you brought it up, what are your guys' favorite characters across the Lego games? Like, which ones do you like to play as the most?
Well, Robin's going to be bottom of the list.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. But like, say you're in free play for any level, and you go to the character select screen. Which character are you going to pick first and foremost?
This goes for all 3 games, right?
Yes. Yeah. Let's go 1 per game, like 1 character per game.
All right. Swfte, you going first? You haven't really spoke much.
Yeah, you can go first.
So if I were to just do free play, whatever character, all right. So obviously for the first one, oh god, I'm gonna say Nightwing. I'm gonna say for the first game, Nightwing is definitely the character that I'm free playing as a bunch. That or a custom character of mine. When it comes to the second game, that's where it gets hard, man. That's where it gets hard.
Yeah.
I mean, the third one's obviously going to be a pain in my ass, but second game, honestly, I probably would just replay as just random Justice League members.
Yeah.
Go in as either like Wonder Woman or like Cyborg or something. Either that or something with me and my brother used to do all the time when we played the Lego games. We would always just play as like the versions of the characters without the costume. Like we would go in as the Bruce Wayne and Dick Grayson skins.
Yeah.
It was always really stupid, but it was a bunch of fun. So that's probably my answer for the second one. For the third one, honestly, I'm a big fan of like all just like the different iterations of Batman. Like I think it's just cool that you can go in as Adam West or Christian Bale or Dark Knight Returns Batman or whatever. Like what's a random version of Batman? Like the Blackest Night Batman,
Rainbow Batman, Zebra Batman, that kind of thing.
Yeah, what's it like the Zer R Batman. Was
Yeah,
that what it's
Zer
called?
R, yeah.
Yeah.
And goes that Batman. By the way, that man is just Jesus. So that's probably what I'd say there, or Jason Todd, as you know, I'd go as a Red Hood, just because he's actually in the third game. That's a pretty random game for him to show up. I think it would have been cooler for him to show up in the second one, but I'm not gonna question Traveler's Tale, the greatest video game developer of all time.
Yeah, of course.
Fun
Okay.
fact: the 3DS version of Lego Batman 2 had way more characters than the console version.
Yeah.
Like you got Deathstroke and Red Hood who played completely different from everyone else in the game. I know that because I put way too many hours into the 3DS version of Lego Batman 2.
Yeah. Do you want to go next, Swfte, or you
Yeah.
still?
Yeah, I got mine. So I actually would have to agree with Alter. Probably my go-to would be Nightwing as well. I love Batgirl too, but probably Nightwing. He's just really fun to play as.
Really hot.
Yes. The second game, oof, probably either Martian Manhunter, somebody I go to a lot, or probably Martian Manhunter or Hawkgirl.
Okay. And
And then
Lego Batman 3.
Lego Batman 3. Ooh, I love playing as Red Tornado. Or I love playing as Reverse Flash.
Oh, okay.
But
I think you
obviously,
just
all
looked
of
at the character selection screen and just had two random people.
No. Red Tornado is always one of my favorites. Oh, actually, Firefly is fun. Firefly is awesome.
Yeah.
But I mean, obviously, any of the DLC Batsuits are awesome to use as well.
Oh, yeah.
Or the Nurse Ledger Joker. But yeah, those are probably my picks.
So for me, the first game, it would either be Alfred or Killer Moths, mostly because I just like fucking around with the different enemies in the game.
Yeah.
Because how many games?
Also, how come Alfred can fight better than Batman and Robin?
No idea.
He was secretly the
He's a
Batman by
better
Gaslight.
martial artist than both of them.
Yeah. And also, how many games can
He
you say?
trained Batman, and Batman trained Robin.
Yeah.
That's my head canon.
Yeah. But how many games can you actually say that you played as Alfred the Butler? I mean, and then, as far as Lego Batman 2, I would say either Superman or Green Lantern, because I just like flying around the city a lot. Super fun. And then
Green Lantern has those like really cool like on the side of the street you can like build things for different like studs.
Yeah, the construct things, yeah. And then in Lego Batman 3, either the Flash or, I mean, like you guys said, the different Batman variants, like Zerna, Rainbow Batman, whatever, Adam West. All of them are fun to choose. So. But yeah, Alter, you mentioned the 3DS version. I was going to say that I spent way too much time on the DS version of the first game. Like I took that shit everywhere, and I still haven't gotten 100% on it yet. I plan to one day.
You ever played the mobile version of the flip phone mobile version of the first game?
No.
I have. I emulated that game, and it is so god awful.
Yeah, I'd bet it'd be pretty terrible. Not a fun time.
never played the 3DS version of the third game, but similar to like the DS version of the first game or in the second game. Like it's pretty much its own game.
Right.
So that'd be something that'd be fun for me to do is go through the third game on the 3DS. I did play a lot of the first Lego Batman on DS, but it was really the 3DS version of the second game that. Because I mean, I went through this phase where I just liked characters that looked cool, and so I would just constantly just play as people like Red Hood because they just looked badass.
Yeah, and then you play them in a level that's covered in acid, and they're all too useless.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, final thoughts on the entire Lego Batman trilogy. Is it a more perfect trilogy than the Arkham games?
Yes.
Are you okay? I'm done. I quit. Ratioed.
It's just a joke, all right. If it was just the first two games, then maybe, because those games are damn near flawless. But they just had to make that third game.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a bad game at all. I still love the third Lego Batman. It's still just an overall good game, but just it didn't feel like it had the same love and passion that the first two had. Like I feel like those were made by genuine fans of the Batman franchise, and then the third one just felt like, the other two were popular. Plus, it might not have helped that there was like a 4-year gap between the first two, and there was only a 2-year gap between. Like they had half the time to make a new game.
So, wait. Are you talking about Lego Batman 3 or Arkham Knight?
I'm talking about Lego Batman 3. I haven't even mentioned the Arkham games. The Arkham games, I kind of feel the same way, to be honest. Even though Arkham City is better than Arkham Asylum, I still think that, Arkham Knight, they kind of just fell.
Actually, you know what? Now that I think about it, literally both trilogies have a lot of the same beats. Like the first games of each of their series are fantastic.
They're simple, but they lay the groundwork, and they're both fantastic in their own right.
The second game
one's always
improves on everything.
I mean, they improve on everything that an open world. They always just expand the universe. And then the third game was rushed out and just didn't, live up to expectations.
Yeah. Perfect parallel.
I'm not going to say rushed out because there was a lot of. I mean, I don't know. Arkham Knight still is just a better game than Lego Batman 3.
That's true. Yeah.
But yeah. Nothing beats the Arkham games, though. Just like, because those, I genuinely do think that Arkham City is a flawless game.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
well, maybe flawless is a little bit of an exaggeration. I don't think there's a perfect video game. There's always something you could do better in a video game.
Yeah. But yeah, Lego Batman, an overall great trilogy. Like, it's a good trilogy. Just like the Arkham games. 2 flawless first.
I mean, we're not going to talk about Arkham Origins. It's just the classic Arkham Origins. Just a misunderstood masterpiece. Or we're going to throw that with DC supervillains.
I mean, you could, but I feel like Arkham Origins is probably it's definitely a better game than Lego DC Villains, for sure.
You've never played the Lego DC Villains.
Well,
I mean, I agree, but like Lego DC Villains, though, it's way better than Lego Batman 3. Like they added actually like probably the biggest open world. The map has improved a lot. Kevin Conroy plays Batman, so you can't really complain there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anyway, what about you, Swfte? Thoughts on the trilogy as a whole?
I mean, I think it's a pretty solid trilogy. It's definitely better than the Arkham games for sure. And no, I'm just kidding. But
Absolutely.
no, it's a great trilogy. It was my childhood. I I have so many great memories playing those games from a not so great time. Like those games really made things a lot funner and better.
Mhm.
So I think it's a really good trilogy. And just because the third game is the weakest doesn't mean that that should suffer, make the whole trilogy suffer. Um,
Mhm.
so yeah, I love the trilogy. I think it's great. That's all I'll say. Simple
Yeah.
and sweet.
I will end this episode on this note. They should do an HD remaster of Batman Begins. All right. Good night, everybody. Has nothing to do with what we just talked about, but
I know.
Nothing you speak about ever does.
bro, imagine an HD collection of the Lego Batman games with like extra content.
That'd be pretty cool. I mean, they did something similar with the Lego Marvel games, so why not just do that for the Lego Batman?
Did they add extra content though? That's what I'm asking for. Add Superman to the first Lego Batman. I dare you.
Yeah.
Make him the most OP character.
Yeah, just take Robin out and put Superman in his place.
Oh yeah. Just don't have the Return to Arkham developers do it. Good God, no.
No.
They're gonna add rain physics. They're gonna make the games 10 times darker and add really realistic rain.
Yeah, Traveler's Tales, if you're listening to this, when you're done with the Skywalker saga, whatever the fuck you're working on, you know what to do afterwards.
Or just Lego Batman 4.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing that.
I would love them to do just like a Lego Batman game, and then as like a DLC or something, just like have like the DLC mission not have any voice actors, just like the original game.
Mm-hmm.
So like when you play the DLC, they're all just murmuring and stuff like the original Lego games.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just on a tangent right now. Go ahead and end this before I lose my mind.
All right, we're gonna call it a video here. I know it's not the Batman video that we were gonna bring you, but it's happening. I can't stress that enough. It's gonna happen at some point. So we just need a bit more time, and we're gonna go all ham on the movie. We're talking about everything. We're spoilers galore. It's gonna be a fun time for sure. So, but until then, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, all that fun stuff. Be sure to follow us on all our social media, YouTube links, whatever. Yeah. So Twitters, Instagrams, Facebooks, whatever we have.
Be sure to check out Intensive Treatment.
Yes. Check out Swifte's Arkham podcast that I am his co-host.
Oh, my SoundCloud.
Yeah, until our next video. Or I should mention that we have a bonus episode coming out on Sunday. It's just going over some news of the week, so stay tuned for that. But until then, we'll see you next time. Thank you all so much for watching, and of course, don't forget to take care of yourselves. See you.